became a whole new person this weekend. It's Scotty. Brett Maggot took this little day trip, or I should say like weekend trip down to Austin, and I became Austin's greatest tour guide.
You were the tour guide. Scotty.
This is me, Aladdin, on the magic carpet. I took us all on. I said, climb on. Do you trust me? I said. I hate playing. No, everybody fell down, yeah.
This carpet went straight down, didn't it?
Yeah, I hate planning things. You know about me. Like when it comes to parties and trips and nights out and playing, I hate doing the planning.
It stresses you the hell out.
I don't want to be any part of it. So we went to Austin this weekend because my girlfriend's family was in town. They flew in and we're like, oh, we'll meet you. They're going for just a little vacation. So we'll meet you. And they had some other friends that met them there too. Well, Shelby and I are the only ones that have been to Austin before of the whole group. Now, we've only been there like a handful of times.
You went there for ACL and a couple other times, right?
A couple ACL and then once to go see Trevor Noah, who, by the way, we have tickets for coming up after 7 o'clock. And so we've done limited things there. And apparently, we became the tour guides for the whole group, planning the whole trip. Because they kind of came in with no plan, just to hang out. We're like, cool. And then kind of decide, well, we should probably see Austin, right? So all of a sudden,
but you're not an Austin expert at all.
No, I have a limited amount of things I know about. It's all basically the touristy things. We did all the same things that we did on the past ones. So we just took them to go do our past things. Yeah,
you're Hollywood, man. You're just remaking the movie.
That's exactly what I did. So we went to we went to Zilker Park, and as we're going there, the guys were like, "Oh, is this where Austin?" And I was like, honestly, I couldn't. It looks so different when Austin City Limits is set up there. Yeah. I was like, I have no freaking clue. So I just started making up stuff. I'm like, yeah, that's where they put the main stage over there to the right. And then we took them through to Lou Neff Point. You know, that's that little lookout point by the lake. If you've never been there, by Lady Bird Lake. And it's a beautiful point. Took them down there. And by the way, I made up facts about Lady Bird Lake because we walked along it all the way to get to those the springs. Right? The, what are they? Now I forgot. The Barton Springs, right there where you can swim. Yep. So as we're walking by, I'm like making up these facts like I'm a freaking tour guide. I'm like, yeah,
genius.
Lady Bird Lake is one of the cleanest lakes in America. They had a whole movement in 1984. I don't know. I believe you. I did. I made up these whole things. So, and then what else did we do? I took him to Congress Street because you know that Joe's Coffee was where the I love you sign is. Yep. We did that. And then the final thing that we wanted to take him to was the one thing that everybody talks about. And we actually hadn't done it yet, but the bats under the bridge.
Oh, okay.
Under the Congress Bridge, if you remember, or if you've never been to Austin, there's these hundreds and hundreds of bats that fly out. And it's supposed to happen at like sundown, right? At like dusk.
Yep.
And it didn't happen. And then so they had like a little phone.
The bats were like
they just
being stubborn.
We stood there. It was cold too this weekend.
The bats' riding wasn't fulfilled.
Right, exactly. I don't know what happened. And I felt like I failed at my job as a tour guide because the bats never came out. You should
have made up a bat fact. Oh, this happens once every 3 years in Austin. The bats don't come out.
I called the bat line. They have a bat line. I called them to get the information.
There's a bat line?
And then we acted like...
You knew that? No, I don't think anybody knows that. I know most of the things you were talking about, but I had no idea about a bat line.
I got to give that credit to my girlfriend Shelby, who just read the sign. Apparently, there was a bat line you can call. And we called, and they were like, yeah, it doesn't happen for another, whatever it was, hour and a half. And I was like...
it was cold as hell this weekend.
It was cold, so we stood out there for about an hour waiting for the bats, and they never showed up. And then we left. But I became the Austin's greatest tour guide here.